Darien Southerland with Southern Gospel Nwes Podcast here this week. This is a little different this week. Arthur's not with me. Charlie's not with me. We don't have a guest. And the show is probably going to be the shortest one you've ever heard. But I want to have a little family talk for just a second and tell you about what's going on. This week we've been attending Podcast Movement 2018 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, learning about this new industry of podcasting. Also, we've been working on some special things that makes our show a little bit better technically, makes our show better with guests, makes our show better overall. Thank you to the over 100,000 people who've taken the time in the first 90 days to listen to Southern Gospel Nwes Podcast. It's exceeded our entire expectations. I can't thank you enough for sharing this podcast with your friends. I can't thank you enough for sending me emails at d.sutherland@bgadgroup.com to tell me about the podcast. I can't thank you enough for all the comments we get on our Facebook page. I can't thank you enough for visiting our website, Southern Gospel Nwes Podcast. I can't thank my staff enough for helping us build the new social media ranking system for Southern gospel music performers and artists. And I can't thank you enough for the growth of gospel music. It's all about the gospel, folks, at the end of the day. This is not a caste system. It's about the gospel. So, Darren, what's the show about today? What the show is about today is Season 2 starts next week. We've just finished Season 1, 30-something great episodes. Interviews with folks like Jason Crabb, Maurice Templeton, Peg McCamey, the Kingdom Heirs, and so many more. Documentary shows like what we did with Facing the Giants and the Wendy Bagwell story. Even Facebook Live videos that we did with the Kingdom Heirs live in Dollywood. So we've got a whole lot more like that planned for you. Coming up, some great interviews with some great folks. Some great documentaries on folks like the cathedrals and others, and then some great in-person stuff. You're going to see myself or Charlie out at some concerts before long talking about SGNP and talking about how you can get involved in SGNP. We're also going to start the Southern Gospel Nwes Podcast Ambassador Program, which will make you a leader in Southern Gospel fans. In addition, we've got a great partnership forming with the Southern Gospel Music Association, the Hall of Fame, and Dollywood. A lot of good things happening. A lot of great growth about to happen. A lot of great things are about to happen to spread the gospel. I need you to do a couple of things for me. Number one, say a prayer for us that we get better. Number two, help us share the gospel by sharing this podcast with your friends and neighbors. Number three, call your local radio station and ask them, hey, why don't y'all play Southern Gospel Nwes Podcast on the air? It's growing, folks. We're having fun, and we want to hear from you. Like I said, email me, d.sutherland@bgadgroup.com. d.southerland at B as in boy, G as in girl, A as in apple, D as in dog, the word group, group.com. Check us out on Facebook, Southern Gospel Nwes Podcast. Over 8,000 of you have liked that. Thank you so much for that. Or you can always go to our website, which we're trying to update a little more, and we've got some work to do, so just bear with us. Hey, folks, this has been 90 days, so we're working on it. And I failed to mention Twitter, at SGNP Podcast. That's simple. I look forward to talking to you. One last thing. Without the support of sponsors like MyPillow, Toccoa Falls College, Kia, and Tony Gore's Barbecue, we wouldn't be able to do this podcast whatsoever. What started off as a hobby has quickly became the audible and social media voice of gospel music thanks to you, not thanks to us, thanks to you, because you are what's driving it. And that's the great thing about this new world we're in with media. You can drive it. They say less is more, so I'm going to get out of here. Expect more next week. Next Friday, each issue will come out at 12:01. Subscribe, tell your friends, click and share, and just have a good time. And remember one thing. What's wrong with living right anyway? Not one thing when it's all about the gospel.